What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Garage Mine. I'm Tony, as always, and we're going to do another Garage Night Pours, and I wanted to talk about a bottle that my sister-in-law got. Thank you, Kathleen. This is Popcorn Sutton. This bottle's super cool. It's got Popcorn Sutton on it. And as we all know, Popcorn Sutton was the famous moonshiner. He made some of the best batches. I've never tried it. That's what they say. Yeah, he was a moonshiner. And this, I believe you can only get it. She was out in Kentucky. And I believe you can only get it out in Kentucky. But she showed me the bottle. She sent a picture. And short, I thought it was like, a gimmick bottle. They got a lot of gimmick bottles out there. Like Sir Davis is one of them. Celebrity hype bottles. Sutton is definitely a celebrity to me. Maybe not mainstream celebrity, but I even think they made a Netflix documentary on him. But, he was a moonshine. You guys can look into that as well, too. A lot of history there. He got in trouble a lot, I believe. I don't know. I don't want to talk about the ending. I'll let you guys do the research. But he was a famous moonshiner, made some of the best stuff. So I just thought it was a gimmick bottle, but I was wrong. It's very good, and I wanted to sit down with you guys on the Garage Mine, kind of talk about it, because we all know that I'm a bourbon nerd, and I love bourbon. I love talking about it. And the bottle, look at the bottle. It's a very cool bottle. It's 100 proof. Look at that. It just looks fancy. It's kind of hard to read. Whoever made the labeling, like that penny kind of color, bronze color on the black, it's kind of hard to read. It's got a little bit of story about who he was on the back. Like I said, it's hard to read. Talks about him a little bit. It talks about his legacy. Definitely a good read. Check it out. It's a master blend of bourbon whiskeys. It's 100 proof. It's blended straight bourbon whiskey. Super cool. I believe you can only get this out there. I have not seen it over here, but let's pour it up and let's talk about it a little bit. And guys, if you know who Popcorn Sutton is, tell me a little bit more, because I'm just finding out who he is too. I just know he's a famous moonshiner. If you guys can tell me the history of him, let's get that pop in there. Oh, that was a good pop. Pour it up. Yeah, so I just want to go over this bottle because I think it's got to be talked about. It's definitely not a gimmick bottle. It's very, very good. Just look at the color on that. Very, very nice. It's aged a minimum of 4 years too. That's kind of what got me. I didn't think most of the aged 4-year stuff is not that good, but let's get into it. So like I said, aged minimum 4 years. The color on it is beautiful too. It's that light amber. So like I said, I'm not an expertise by any chance. I'm not a bourbon. Like, I don't do this for a living. I don't judge it, but I just like talking about the bourbon and having a good time and building a community, guys. That's what it's all about. Building up the bourbon community and just sitting down and, unwinding. Life is hard. We need our escapes. We need, things just to have a reset. What's wrong with that? Nice little reset, sit down. Obviously, guys, drink responsibly. Don't be crazy. Don't drink and drive. I don't condone any of that nonsense. But sitting back in the garage, couple friends, having a drink, having a sip. And this is one of those bottles that I definitely want to talk about because it's very good. And once again, this is Popcorn Sutton's bottle. I think this is only a release that you could get out in Kentucky. I'm in Illinois. I haven't seen this bottle. Like I said, Kathleen, thank you. My sister-in-law, you're awesome, because this bottle surprised me. Just smelling it, it's you get the nice fruits, you get the strawberry, the creamy vanilla, you get a little bit of oak in there. It's just a really pleasant on the nose, to be honest with you guys. Sip, cheers, what I'm saying. It's very good. I would even compare this to like a Weller 107. And I know that's a big name, but it is. It's so smooth. It definitely tasted like a wheated. I know it's a bunch of blended whiskeys, but it's so smooth. Like, you get the creamy vanilla, the creamy cinnamon. And then in the back, it's like you get a little bit of heat too. So it has all the like strawberry, vanilla, you get oak in there too, but not overwhelming. This is just a great pour. It's really good, guys. It's smooth. It's got a little bit of heat on the back end, so it like keeps it interesting, but it's great. Like I said, a comparison for me would be a Weller 107. It's got like that wheated vibe to it, where you get like the soft notes, but then it's got a little bit of like oak and spice in the back end. Just a little bit of heat. Not too crazy, not too overpowering. But I would definitely, if I see this or if I'm in Kentucky, I would definitely buy it again. I believe the bottle was around, I think it was like $70. I got to do the research online about the price. but it's awesome. This is definitely a pour. Like if I've ever seen it again, I would definitely purchase it. This is a great bottle. Popcorn Sutton. I like a bottles with the story too. And obviously, if you know the story, I know a little bit about it. So down in the comments, guys, if you could tell me a little bit more about Popcorn Sutton and who he was, and a little bit of the legacy there. It tells you a little bit about on the bottle. But being a first thought was, is this legacy bottle just another gimmick bottle? Another celebrity or somebody in the bourbon whiskey world, and they're just using the name to sell it, kind of like Jordans in the shoe world, just using his legacy. They're just shooting out the same shoes, even though I do buy Jordans, but all of them are the same. They keep just shooting out the same shit. But this is great. It's not just a name on the bottle. It's it pays homage to his legacy. It's a very good bottle. It's great. Guys, I want to thank you again. If this is the content you like talking about bourbon, you want to learn about some bottles, you want to talk about some different bottles that I have, I'm going to be doing a lot of the bourbon content again. I've been paying attention a lot. I still work. I still go to work. I still have a full-time job, work 60 hours a week. It's hard to do all of it at once, but bourbon is a passion of mine. Bourbon is something I like, and I want to talk about it. I'll do a video on it too, guys. If you haven't noticed, Buffalo Trace, thank you. They made so much bourbon that like the regular stuff, like the EHs back here that used to be hard to get, are kind of like on the shelf now. You see a lot more Wellers. Bourbon is resetting back to the way it was when I started. Easy to find. It kind of turned into this popularity contest, this kind of mainstream shit, and the prices got whacked. I mean, the secondary market is fucking insane for some of this stuff. There was a time where the stuff was just sitting. Did I say shitting? I mean, sitting on the shelves regularly. It was easier to get. I'm starting to see those bottles pop up. You got your Eagle Rails popping up. I saw a whole thing at small batch. Even though I don't know why, I'll give it another chance. It was one of those bottles that I was chasing. They're all right. I mean, you get into the barrel proof, it's a little better. You get into, the straight rye, that's good. Anything but just a regular small batch, I don't know. I think it's overhyped. I don't think it's that great. But Eagle Rare is always a success. I'm seeing a lot of Blanton's on the shelves. If you go to your wholesalers, like we got Benny over here, they're just throwing them out there. And at retail, the price is going back down. It's not this stupid, I hate anything that gets picked up and becomes a mainstream fad. I think Joe Rogan was pushing Buffalo Trace and it blew up and it was hard to get. Now I'm seeing cases out there. What was it? John Wick had Bland's too. Yeah, Bland's on there. Everybody wanted that. Being a fan of the stuff, a man who likes to drink the stuff, it sucks when the prices get jacked up because everything is jacked up in prices nowadays. So it sucks when the one thing you like. So I think it's balancing itself now. Super cool. If you guys think the same thing, let me know down in the comments. I'm curious to know what you guys think. If everything's in I'm in Illinois. If your prices are starting to go back down, level up. I mean, we still got those greedy people, jacking the shit out of them. And I mean, who's going to pay a fucking $1,000 for a bottle? Come on now. What the fuck? But anyway, this Sutton, definitely well-rounded. I know it's a blend of whiskey, but if you like weeded bourbons, this tends to lean more that way. Popcorn Sutton, thank you for all the moonshine. Thank you for, being a pioneer in the moonshine business. And, I love stories of people building passion, having a passion to make their stuff. Was it illegal? But it was great product. If anybody's actually tried any of his moonshine, let me know down in the comments. I think that'd be cool. I'd actually like to talk to somebody on the podcast who tried any of his moonshine or any of his products. But I don't know if this is, from the family, the Sutton family, if they're making this bourbon. But whoever's making this blended whiskey bourbon, definitely, I'd like to talk to you on the podcast. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know. Sit down on the podcast and we'll talk some bourbon and talk these blends because this is a great bottle, guys. Definitely check it out. Guys, thank you for joining me on the Garage Mine. In this little corner I like to call the Garage Night Pours. Guys, if you like this content, like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you can get all the notifications. Guys, listen to the podcast on all podcast platforms. Guys, yeah, I'm shamelessly selling myself. I know. Guys, I like to make the content. I do cooking videos too because, the whole thing I set out to is I'm not perfect. I don't think nobody is. And I'm not a pit master and I'm not a bourbon professional reviewer. I'm an enthusiast, and I just like to talk everyday life, real conversation, guys. That's what I'm doing here. That's the community I'm building, real talk. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me, I want to hear it all. Let's get real conversations going because I just feel like we're not having them anymore. So guys, thank you. I'm Tony as always. your buddy in the garage, your ambassador of fun. See you on the next one. Cheers. Peace.